In this video, we're going to be unboxing the Macwheel LNE-26, one of their budget e-bikes. Let's check it out. Hey, this is Nelson. Welcome back to the E-RYDERS channel. We got the Macwheel LNE-26. This is one of their budget e-bikes. We're going to be doing an unboxing and assembly video, and I just want to give a shout out to Macwheel for sending this bike out to us for review and for testing. And let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and cut the top flap of the box. Now this is a road bike, and it's a smaller frame, so it's going to be a little light. It's not going to be too heavy. You should be able to pull it from the top. Let's check the contents. Yeah, we have bubble wrap, a lot of foam sheets. We have little plastic ties. We have even cardboard, and looks like some paper even kind of wrapping the parts and pieces. I'm going to take the objects out of the loose objects out of the box. This is what I believe to be the accessories box. Let's check out the contents. It is. Here we have the Macwheel LNE-26 manual, and it looks like a warranty card. We have some tools to put the bike together. And we have the quick release skewer. We have each side of the pedals. I don't know if that's a right or left, but it probably says on the part or bag. Oh, there we go. That's the right. It's labeled on the bag. And this is probably the charging unit for the battery. Yep. Real light. The smaller battery, so you don't need a heavy brick at all. Let's go ahead and try to get this bike out. Real easy. We'll set it down. You can just kind of see what it all looks like when it's all wrapped and being shipped in the box. And we're just speeding it up, kind of get through the process. Alright, so now that you've gotten all the stuff taken off the bike, go ahead and check around the bike, because you might find pieces like this where it might look like something to throw away because it's just wrapped with cardboard box and plastic, and the part is so light you may not notice that there's anything in the box or wrapped. So this is obviously the back rack for the bike. But definitely check all the parts and pieces that are wrapped by cardboard. And here you have the seat, and here you have the fender. All parts we'll be putting on the bike. And we're going to grab the keys off the handlebar, which is attached to the wires on the handlebar. We want the keys because we're going to take the battery off and charge it up while we're assembling the bike. And you'll see the keyhole on the left side of the battery. And then to unlock it or turn it on, and you can even test the battery level. But before you even take the battery out, you got to take the seat post out, because the battery comes straight up, and it would just be in the way if the bike seat was still there. Let's pull it straight up. And it is a big, heavy battery, so you'll need 2 hands. And we'll take it to the bench. Now you can charge the battery while it's in the bike, but like I said, we're going to charge it separately. That way we can assemble the bike without any cables attached to the bike. So we'll put it on the bench. And you grab the AC power cord. Now it is configured to go in a certain way, and as you can see, you have to line it up just right. Alright, we'll let it sit there. And we're going to start with the handlebars first. That way they're not just dangling on the ground and in the way while we're putting everything else on. Now this handlebar is just, you know, a little different than the rest. This is the old school handlebars. Make sure you have your forks facing the correct way before you tighten the neck down. But here is the bracket that holds or tightens the handlebars in place. We're going to loosen it up. That way we can position the handlebars just right. Now it's not going to be perfect just yet because we haven't put the front tire on. Once you put the front tire on and the bike is raised up in the front, you'll get a better idea once you're stepping over the bike to see where you want those handlebars. So we'll just, you know, keep it, you know, loose, not fully tight. And then we'll work on the fender and then the tire. Alright, so before we put all the fender on, we gotta take off the light. Now they packaged the light, instead of putting it in the accessories box, they actually kept it attached to the bike. So you gotta kind of take that screw off so you can loosen the light. Plus it'll help with positioning your forks and your fender. Before putting the tire on, you're going to take off the little guard at the very bottom. Little plastic guard. It's just held down by one bolt, but a couple nuts on each side. Alright. Here's the quick release skewer. Remember those springs, small ends on the inside, big ends on the outside. Here's the tire. It's a street tire, and it's got the rim around the side because we have A-brakes on this bike. All right, so we put the skewer through. We put the spring in. Remember, small in, big out, and just loosely put the cap on. You know, the end cap, not all the way tight, just a little bit, just so we can get the forks on. All right, so before we can get the tire up in place, we definitely have to remove one of the brake pads or both. And again, this is the old A-brakes. A lot of us might remember from, you know, the before the 90s. All right, now we can get the tire all the way up through there. And then we can seat the forks right on top of the axle. There we go, drops in. And we'll tighten the end caps until we get the tension that we want from the quick release. And just a little bit more, not yet, not yet. And getting there. And that seems to be tight enough. All right, perfect. Front tires on. We can go ahead and put the brake pad back on. Now these brake pads squeeze on the side of the rim to slow the bike down. If anyone remembers that mechanic, I know a lot of the young folks might not remember that because these newer bikes have disc brakes instead of these old A brakes. Alright, we're good to go there. Now we're going to put on the fender and the headlamp. And this is something you usually do at the same time, both the fender and the light, because they share the same bolt. Now we're using the wrench that was supplied by Macwheel. This was in their toolkit that they sent. And we're just finding the right hole on the wrench to keep it still while the Allen wrench tightens it through the nut. And this is a metal fender, so be very careful with the bending of the fender, but you definitely want to hold it upward while you're screwing the screw down. And then we have the fender stays that we have to attach to the bottom of the forks. Really easy, just take the screw off and place it and screw it right back in there on both sides. That'll keep the fender in place. Alright, so now we have the pedals. And they are labeled R and L. Can't mess it up. Even the crank themselves have a sticker that says right or left. And remember, the right is always clockwise. These pedals are all plastic, so they're really, really light. You just tighten it down with the wrench. Again, you can use the tool that was sent with the bike. And now for the left, but it's counterclockwise. Alright, and tighten that down. And now we're just taking out the screws for the fender stays and just putting them right back in. We're on the rear tire. As you can see, that is the rear hub motor in the back of that e-bike. Alright, now we're going to be attaching the back rack, but we got to take the screws out, so we can use those screws to tighten in the rack. Almost done with the top side. And now we're going to do the bottom. Now you might have to fight to get it in there. The bars to the rack are a little stiff, so you might have to force it while you're trying to screw those screws in there. But it'll work, you'll get it through there. Alright, that's the back rack. Now we're gonna put some air in the tire. Let's see where they had it when they shipped it. Sometimes these tires come in almost full, and sometimes they come in near flat. It looks like it was shipped with about 5 psi. So we'll take the battery out while it's been charging. Just check it and see. Turn it on. Check the level. Oh, we're almost there, but it's good enough. Let's slide it right back in there, straight down, and then of course you can lock it up and then put the seat post back on. Now keep in mind, guys, this is just an unboxing and assembly video. A full review video, specs and everything, will be on a different video, so be sure to check that out. Like if you like it, but subscribe so you'll be alerted to that upload when that video comes out. Alright, this is Nelson. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.